What is up, everybody? This is Recap Rewind. I'm JLAG, and I'm here with the lovely
NB.
How's it going, girl? So we are gonna be recapping American Horror Story.
Yep.
Season 7, Cult, episode
5.
Shit.
And it's called Holes.
Damn, evil.
And we only have a couple more episodes left. So yeah, let's get into the episode. But before we start, Halloween's coming up,
Halloween
which is like
is
one of our favorite like things ever.
Yeah.
So we want to give you guys a special giveaway to our like Recap Rewinder fans.
For those who are listening to us.
So guys, after the episode, after we finish this recap, stay tuned because we're gonna sort of go through the prizes, the special prizes that we have.
Yeah.
And how you can enter and possibly win a very special custom Recap Rewind. Special prize. Something. Okay, so let's get into it. The episode was called Holes. We're not gonna go through like every single scene. Let's like dissect our favorite moments.
Yeah.
So what was your favorite moment to start?
I think so, and it happens in the beginning, like pretty close to the beginning of the episode, is the reveal that Ivy is a part of the cult.
Yeah.
It's revealed when they I guess have a house meeting, like a
meeting,
team meeting. And she shows up. She's like, "Sorry, I'm late."
Yeah.
And I was like, "What?"
So did you were you surprised? Because
after last week's episode where they had it was like a flashback. Right?
It was like Winter and her and they were talking.
Right, because it was like 11/9, so it was like the episode before the election.
Yeah.
So before the show even started.
Yeah.
And so we see this connection between Ivy and Winter. And so that's kind of like where I clued in, obviously, but then seeing her walk through the door, I was like, damn, she like really
she's like
came
in it. Yeah, like she's in it.
You know, the one thing that also like kind of confused me, and I know I should have figured this from the beginning, but even Winter siding with Kai so strongly, like I know that they're siblings and shit, but I didn't think that they were on the same side just based on how they
I think
like started the season.
I still don't think they're on the same side. I still feel like, especially with like Winter and Ivy, like in some twisted way, and again, like it's like Ryan Murphy's way of like showing like what happens when you're so desperate, when you're so down and out.
Right.
I think it's still like her way of doing something shitty
to make
that
change.
happens. Yeah, like something to, whether or not like it's really messed up, and it is because they're like killing people. I still feel like it's her way of still like having this type of power or like like just changing.
You know, now that you're mentioning it, like she's really focusing really hard on him winning this election, like this council.
And who knows like what he's promised her, right?
Right. So what I'm thinking is like she lost her like last candidate, Hillary. So she's putting all her efforts into him because she thinks that he's actually going to make a change like, for the positive. Yeah. Obviously that's probably not going to be the case.
I think it's about, and I think there's a part in the episode where he says like, there's no voting. It's up to me or whatever.
Right.
And I think maybe he kills the guy or whatever. But isn't it supposed to be like a democracy? Like, isn't it supposed to be like, oh, you guys are all in the call and like voting? But like clearly he's obviously like the controller. Like,
yeah.
So they're gonna explore that too, right?
Is he?
Or is he? Exactly. Like they're gonna have to explore like now the inner workings of this cult. Yeah. Now that they've like exposed it and stuff, right?
So what was your biggest, craziest?
My favorite moment was the story behind his parents, because I just felt like everyone had a backstory and everyone had a motivation. But
I love because like you always like crave that. Like I know that NB always like wants.
Well, I mean he's a big character in the season.
And you asked from the get go, where are his
I'm like, where's his parents? Like where does he live? Like who is this person? Yeah. Because I think every character has to have that layer of like. Of
why
like who is this person, and like what we thought he's not really that person, and he's such a pivotal character in this season. Like they're gonna have to explore it, and I think they explored it like at the perfect time. Like I think it was okay that they waited until episode 5. But we find out that like he was like pretty normal like back in the day.
No dyed blue hair.
Yeah, he was like normal, whatever. His dad, he's narrating his story to Beverly, and he was like, my dad was like pretty normal, whatever, until he got into an accident and he was paralyzed, and like that was it. Like my dad became like this really Debbie Downer, like really like shit talker on my mom, like abusive, whatever.
She made tacos.
Yeah. And then like his dad ended up, so at one point, like one day I guess, like his mom ends up shooting the dad.
Yeah.
And then she ends up shooting herself, like in the head.
It's the only way. Yeah. And then she like shoots herself.
And then he doesn't know what to do. He's obviously like freaking like sketched out. Yeah. So he calls his brother, who we find out
twist
is the doctor, the therapist.
But was it a twist? I mean, really, when you saw that
connection, like we knew that there was going to be a connection. It was just like a matter of like, what's the connection?
Yeah. So it was a psychiatrist.
Yeah. His brother is Dr. Rudy, and basically like they set it up so like the parents, they never have to like report the parents' death. They literally left their decaying bodies like in the bedroom.
So I just missed that detail. Like what is the loophole there? Like, did they have first of all, did they have no friends?
So they got the tax money. So he didn't want to pay the death tax. Okay? Right. Which I think is like the idea of like, you know, you owe the country something, right? Mm-hmm. Like you still owe the country's providing you for all these things. You owe it something. But obviously this guy is like, hell no, I'm not even paying a death tax. Yeah. Oh, my dad and my mom. Yeah. Screw that. I'm going to leave their freaking thing, decaying bodies in the bed, in the room.
Plus they lose the inheritance,
They lose the inheritance. And I think because the dad was on disability, they still get his disability checks. Right. Because he's still technically alive. Right. So I think it's just a show. Like, look how people are like, you're talking about America and how it's great and how it's like, I can't wait for the new like America, but you're still milking the system.
You're twisting
like, you're
the
abusing the system. Yeah. Like that's not very patriotic of you.
Yeah.
So I think that's what it's trying to show there too.
I didn't see that point, but that's a really good point.
Especially for the therapist to do that. You know, he's like, I just got my new practice. Anyways, so that shows Kai. And then the sister comes home, like Winter comes home, and she's like, "Oh my god, like our parents are dead." Like, but she doesn't even like really care.
She's like, "I fucking hate you guys. I can't believe you guys told me. You didn't tell me." And I'm like, it's so true.
Yeah, and it even sounded like the way like the therapist was talking about Winter, like she was always like on the outside. Yeah, he's like, she never even calls anyways. Like she's always at school, or whatever. Like leave her alone.
She's like the youngest, whatever.
Yeah. So whatever. So I guess that kind of shows like where Kai came from.
Right.
I guess it doesn't really show like how he, like, I don't know what turned him into like this person.
Yeah.
He makes a promise to his mom. He's like, I'm going to be like the best person I can be. But like,
right.
I don't know, like I don't know how that turns you into like a serial killer.
See,
like,
that's the part that kind of like made me question a lot of this is like everything in this, like everything that's happened escalated so quickly.
Yeah.
I understand that like it's a very like messed up situation to like being like your parents are decaying in a room and you were living in the same house as them and like you saw your mom like shoot her face off. So I kind of like get like how mentally fucked up you can be, but not to the point where you're in turn creating a cult and murdering people. Yeah. Like, I don't know. I feel like
maybe there's like another hole that we're missing or something.
Who knows? I really do feel that like he needed to be a little bit more twisted than just
I thought he was going to kill the parents.
Yeah.
Or like kill the dad and that somehow like turn him in.
Because he like glitches out or something.
Now, do we believe his story? That's another thing.
Great question.
Because
they do like
this is all about
the pinky promise or whatever, right?
I think this is all about like leadership, what you're told to believe in, what your leader freaking acts like his story is, and it might not be that case.
That's a good point.
So whether or not you want to believe that story, I don't know.
Because like his whole backstory is incited by Beverly doing the pinky
Beverly's
finger
like, I want to know your story.
I want to know your story. You tell me everything. Yeah. Because like in this episode, she kind of turns up as like one of the characters who start like doing shit.
Yeah.
She incites a lot of stuff. She gets a guy killed. Yeah. Like she does a lot of shit. So you can kind of see this like
the power changing
a little bit. So her doing this connection with him makes her want to feel like they're on an even playing field, and the episode ends with him like basically breaking down crying.
Yeah.
So do we believe everything that happened? Maybe not. That's a very good point. Like, did he really kill his parents? Is that a possibility?
Yeah.
What do you think? Like, do you think that he could have killed his parents?
I mean, you're right. Like, I think there's a little hole missing where like, okay, but how did you go from here to here?
Right. Like, and I love that you just said whole because the episode's called Holes.
Right. It's called Holes. So yeah, I mean, it's like more than just like the title, but yeah, maybe he's I can definitely see him like killing the dad. The hatred that he had for the dad, and like even when like he was like talking to his mom, he didn't talk to the dad. He was like, he left the dad like on the side.
Right.
So who knows like what actually happened, and like maybe he killed the dad and like the mom ended up like, or he killed the mom too. I don't know. Who knows?
True.
Who knows?
What else? What else surprised you? I think one of the biggest things that surprised me too is like the whole situation with Meadow and Mandem.
Yeah.
And Police Mandem.
Yeah.
I was like,
okay,
yo.
so again,
So
like holes, right? Like there's a lot of holes happening right now in this cult. So we've seen Harrison and Meadow. But in this episode, you sort of like uncover more because now we know that Meadow was missing, right?
Right. This is going back to episode 3.
We found out that like, or the episode before, that she was missing
like
from her bed.
All over
Harrison's
her.
like, oh my god, so she's missing.
Hold on, slowly roll. So if we're taking it from episode 3 to episode 5, does that mean he just gets like released from jail?
I don't know.
Because he was getting arrested.
There's weird time jumps. I know. I was trying to figure that out
holes.
Too. I mean, like, who arrested him? Like, but yeah.
Oh, maybe it was a policeman. Maybe it was an investigator, and he like got him out of jail.
No, I feel like this entire episode though.
See, that's the part that's kind of confused.
It wasn't a flashback.
Yeah,
it wasn't all flashback.
Now I'm trying to like uncover everything. Like, it doesn't really make much sense. Like, if it was Meadow, being killed, then why would he call the police in the first place if he was the one that was gonna kill her?
Well, he's making it seem like she's missing. It's gonna be so bait if like he doesn't call it in.
But like not to the point where like he's the one that's like incited. He could have said like, oh,
but
she
maybe
never
that
came
wasn't
home
the plan,
yesterday
though.
or something.
Maybe that wasn't the plan. Maybe like freaking Ali, whatever. Like she messed up the plan. I don't know.
Like she called the police.
Or who knows what happened. You know what I mean? Like it was supposed to go down a different way. I don't know.
I don't know, man. I feel like it's weird. Or maybe there's an inside job going on.
Yeah.
Like maybe somebody's like doing something on the inside. Like
that's there has to be an inside job for sure.
And who knows? Maybe it is Ivy. We don't know this shit.
Yeah.
Like right now we're seeing, and I think this season has been that whole overarching theme in this whole season, I think, has been like, do not believe what you just see. Like you can't just look and be like, oh, like even, and I think that's why this season is really tripping me up, because like even seeing Ivy walk in and she's like, oh, she's a part of the crew, and I'm like, but are you really a part of the crew? Like, where have you been this whole time? Have you been a part of the murders? But she wasn't, because she like when the reporter guy gets killed in this episode, she like throws up because it's like the first time that she's seen a body, so, or like somebody get murdered. So it was just like a lot of holes that just kept like kind of popping up, like now that we're talking about it, now that we're analyzing
you're like seeing it more. For sure.
Know.
I think it's crazy to see how all of them are like together, like in this call. Like it's crazy to see like how much work he's actually done and how many people are following him and like doing like they're literally killing people. Like like it's a big jump.
Yeah.
And like Beverly like turned up. Like
she didn't give no fucks. I think because she was at a very low point in her life. Like it's what you were saying about like the desperation of man and you gotta like do what you gotta do to like get your way. You know, so she's becoming this boss ass reporter because she's like reporting on all these murders.
And I love how like her boss, like Bob, he was like, how are you like always on the scene like first? He's like, how are you always there? Because she literally killed the person.
Yeah, and then she like comes in like in front of the camera.
She's like already there.
It's crazy. So to that point, I don't know. I do feel like a lot of the cult members are not really sure what's happening, and things do escalate quickly with Kai.
But I guess that's what happens too.
So they follow him.
Like you're following him blindly.
Yeah.
And then along the way, all this shit's happening, but you don't know how to keep up.
Yeah.
But you want to like even at the end, like Ivy still stapled that guy's head.
Yeah.
Like in the end, she still did it.
Yeah.
So whether or not she threw up in the beginning when they were killing Bob or whatever, in the end,
she's still guilty.
He's
of
like,
it
are
all.
You on our side or are you on their side?
Right.
And she still did it. So. I don't know what that means.
Yeah. But even like going back to the guy that got his head stapled, I forget his name because he was like
RJ.
Yeah.
So he was the cameraman of Beverly. I was like, oh, true.
I wouldn't have even booked that. So like even seeing that happen with him, he glitches out a few times because he's like, how long are we gonna, like when they do the whole coffin situation, they're like, he's like, how long are we gonna keep them in there? And he starts questioning things and everybody's like blind, like you said, blindly following what he says. Like I think it's what Harrison says. There's like, would you question the person that gave you your life back?
Yes.
Like that is how much power they've given him.
Yeah.
You know, so it's really crazy to see that like as a cult leader, you have such a control over this massive group of people because you've made it seem like that you've given them life.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
That's what it is, right? When you feel as a follower, you feel like you were given something.
Yeah.
And now you owe something to that person or that religion or whatever they call it. We forgot to talk about Meadow. So in this episode, Meadow, a big part of it, you see Harrison and he's making out with Detective.
Yeah. At one point in time, Ali
Ali
is
booked
Snoop
it.
Dogging like across the
Yeah.
street, and she's like looking through like the telescope, and it's such a weird scene, but yeah, she sees him across the street,
And they're, like,
and he's like
hooking
carrying like a bag, and then he like it cuts to him like going to the kitchen. He's like making out with the policeman, and then she's like, "Let me snoop some more."
Yeah, so she like crosses the
so
street.
she gets up in the business, and she finds Meadow in a
freaking hole.
like in a grave, in a grave, in a hole, holes everywhere.
Yeah, she's in a grave.
Yeah,
but she's like passed out or whatever.
Yeah,
but then she wakes up.
She wakes up in that same moment. She's like, "Help me!" And
then like Ali like runs. By the way, Ali, the quietest she's ever been in this episode. She was like running, but I was like, I messaged JLAG. I'm like, but why is she so quiet? Like, why? I was all of a sudden she's not screaming anymore.
It's like this is the most silent that Sarah Paulson's
like,
ever been in American Horror Story. She's screamed too much.
So she runs back to her house, and then Meadow chases her back, sort of like following, not chasing her, but like she's following her.
So in the meanwhile, she calls Ivy though. That's the big sitch, right? Yeah. So like at this point in time, we know now that Ivy is a part of the cult. So when she calls her, she's like, "Oh God, they're gonna do something, gonna kill her! My God!" And then then Meadow like fucking shows up at the gates, and she's like, "Let me in, help me."
She's like, "It's a call," and she actually says it, which really surprised me.
Yeah,
she's like, "It's a call. Like your babysitter's in on it. Your freaking like wife's even in on it."
Yeah,
like,
that's like the last thing she says. She's like, "Your wife," and then like they bag her, and then they pull her away. Yeah. And Allie's just like, "The police are coming."
Yeah, like so useless.
Thanks for nothing. She's so useless. So what did you think? Okay, let's flip all of our attention back to Allie since we're talking about her. What did you think about her in this episode?
I mean, she's pretty useless. I don't think she's gonna be useless in this season. I feel like she's gonna come through.
Yeah.
But like she was useless this episode, obviously. Yeah.
It starts off with her basically talking to the psychiatrist about her like whole
basically
fears.
All the shit that we thought that she was seeing, she was actually seeing.
Yeah.
So she's not crazy.
Yeah. I mean, other than seeing centipedes crawl out of her neck.
Yeah.
So like that wasn't real.
Yeah.
So
but who knows, that could be like her medicine and stuff too, eh?
True.
Like he could be giving her like a weird dosage or whatever.
Who knows now? There's so many questions. I don't know.
My question would be like, why are they breaking her? Cause she's the wife of like another cult member. Like, like what's the point of breaking her? I don't get it.
Like even talking to flipping to Ivy and her quote unquote motivation for joining the cult. She was like, she did this to us. It's her fault that like Trump is the president. It's like, no, she was one fucking vote in one state. Like,
and she's your wife. Like,
she's your wife. Like that can't be your only reason why you're murdering people wearing clown masks. Like that's a reach, guys.
But they also do a flashback with them too. Remember?
Yeah.
And like the role was like reversed because like Ali wanted to like get it in, but Ivy was all like, no, we're like losing money.
Yeah.
So I think they probably had issues even before this, and probably like this was just like the tipping point. She's like, I don't even love this person anymore. Even maybe she like falls in love with Winter. Like who knows?
I feel like that's kind of what happened. I mean, I'm not really sure what the whole situation is, but kind of maybe. Yeah. I do think
like because that might be a cool thing to explore too. Is that like the person that you're intrigued in or like really interested in is part of this cult? Does it intrigue you too to get into it and like you believe in it more?
Right.
Because I think a lot of these people who join these cults and like these organizations, like they're following a person that they love too. Like they trust in someone. Right. They're like, okay, if they're in it, I'll go in it too. Like why is it so? Yeah. So
Scientology.
That could I mean like that could be a really big thing to explore too. Who knows?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I do feel like her motivation currently is like pretty weak. Like I don't know why she would like join if that was the case. But Ali does mention that, you know, she's like, it's almost like, I think when she's talking to the psychiatrist, she's like, it's almost like she planned it all out.
She planned it.
Like she planned like leaving. She was like ready to go. She had everything ready. She had like a babysitter, whatever. She had a place to go to, whatever.
And like, I think even you mentioned it like another episode before, because you were like, when they got into the fight, like when Ivy saw the video of Ali and thing, you were like, why would she leave right away though? Like, wouldn't you like want to know why there's like
have a conversation?
Yeah, have a conversation. And like in that now it totally makes total sense because she's like, okay, bye.
Yeah,
like
she had known that she was gonna dip from the get go.
Yeah,
she was just waiting for a reason to leave. So it's crazy, but I think we do get the answer that you were asking, which is who is what's the kid's name? Ozzy's mom. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Ali.
Yeah.
She mentions it.
She's
Like,
right?
she's like, I have a biological desire to be with my child.
With him. Yeah. See, they keep saying it.
So
they keep mentioning it.
Yeah, I don't.
There's something there.
To your point, like you've questioned whether or not there's a connection there. There might be a connection since they keep like hammering it in.
Yeah.
So that's that.
Yeah. I think it's funny how Ivy and Ozzy look the same, and maybe right away you would look at it, and maybe that's another thing too. It's like you look at it and you assume something,
right?
And you believe this,
right?
But that's not always the case either, right?
For
so,
sure.
Anyways.
Do not believe what you see all the time.
There's a lot of really cool themes that they've like introduced in this season. I'm liking it. I like this season.
I feel like it's so different.
I feel like
from everything that they've done.
I feel like Roanoke was the same in the sense that like they're messing with us, and the way that
Mentally.
the way that they're playing their storytelling right now is like flippy and floppy. And I feel like Roanoke was the same way too. But I felt like Roanoke didn't execute it properly. So I'm really hoping like they didn't even do it, like they didn't even get on the line. But I'm hoping that like this is like so far it's better. I feel like it's better.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like to compare the season. I mean, you're gonna compare the seasons, but like they're all so they're different.
The theme is different, but I feel like the way you break down a story can be like it doesn't have to be the same.
That's
but
fair.
Is it done right?
That's fair.
That's what you can judge, and like that's what I'm judging.
Fair enough. I do think this is one of the most unique seasons. The way that the story is being told, what the story is, and how this, like, just the way everything's kind of coming together. It's not as scary.
No.
Like it's more intriguing.
Like,
it's more twisted. It's more fucked up. Like
yeah.
Even them like hammering the nails into the guy's head, I was like, oh, it's so like that's just like dark.
Yeah.
That's so dark.
And it's interesting how, what do they call it? It's like lobotomized.
Yeah. Lobotomy,
right?
yeah.
It's like at the end he was so like his eyes were just like there was glazed. Like no one in there.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's so like people in cults are like that. Like like they're just like zombies.
Yeah. It would have been really fucked up / kind of not cool, but it would have followed like a throwback to like AHS Coven, where they have like a Frankenstein character.
Yeah.
And they had him kind of like just lurk and like do stuff for him. But
he's
not smart. They're not smart enough to like make him like a zombie.
Yeah.
But I thought it was really fucked up. So if we can really talk, because that was one of the big moments in the episode as well, is them like basically giving him a nail crown in his head.
Yeah.
What did you think of that whole situation? Did you think it needed to be as violent as it was?
No, obviously not. That was crazy. I don't even know what the hell this guy did. Like I feel like Ivy messed up more than he did. Like I didn't understand why they were like freaking torturing to just kill him.
Yeah.
I don't know. I also find it weird that Kai knew exactly, like he knows all these weird things. Like he even knew
where to kill him.
Like where to kill him exactly, where like if you put it there, like he's dead.
Yeah. Temporal mandibula.
Yeah, and like even the fact that like he knew that like the Guinness record of someone like having nails to their head.
Yeah.
Like those comments is what makes me think that his story was bullshit. Makes me think that there was way more to his story, because he's like, that's like pretty deranged, and it doesn't just happen from like after. That's like some like you're born with that shit.
Yeah,
like,
it's true. And also we have to remember that he's like an IT guy. He's like a smart, fancy
True.
So, and in his flashback, he doesn't come off that way at all. He does come off like a little bit more meek and like more like introverted, but he doesn't come off as like a like super smart, like geeky kind of person. I don't know.
I could believe that. I could
definitely think that there's something wrong with his story.
Yeah.
His history. Yes, definitely his parents are dead. Yeah. But did they kill themselves or did he murder them? That is the big question. And I
like
think,
who knows? Maybe the brother doesn't even know either, right? Like the brother could think that they killed them. They killed each other.
He's in on that shit too. I don't fucking know. So let's finish it off with a little bit of Beverly.
Beverly is like interesting because like I feel like she came out of the woodwork.
Yeah,
from
totally.
Roanoke, and then now this season.
Like just right off the top though, like no, I mean. Shade included, I'm not a big fan of this actress. I feel like she's a bit of an over actor.
Yeah, but don't you feel like her roles are always like that? I feel like it's her role.
It's true. She's like a reporter in this one, so she needs to be like on the scene.
And she's like, and this is the whole thing. They want to instill fear in everyone.
Yeah.
So the way she's talking is very like, it was terrifying to see these images. Be careful. Do not show your children. Like that's her character. I get it, but like I know what she means. Like she's
I think she like takes it too far sometimes. But anyway, that's a side note. But I do think that like Beverly's character definitely turned the f up since we saw her backstory last episode. You definitely
because
see
first
her.
she didn't want to be in the call. She was like, no, I can't believe
She's
in
like,
you.
who are you?
Yeah.
Like, what's your situation? But like now she's starting to.
But
believe
the fact
him a
that
little bit
she
more.
was the only one that did that shows exactly how she's different too.
Yeah.
Because she's the only one that like questioned it.
Yeah.
That was like, hold on, my life is like okay right now though, but like I could still believe in something else, or like I do. Right. No one else did that. Everyone else was like, yeah, it's Kai, like you're amazing.
Yeah.
She's the only one that like resisted in the beginning. But like now look at her, like she's like overpowering him.
Do you see
or he's
her
making her feel like that?
Do you see her taking over?
I see that happening just to see like how the power switch can happen.
Yeah. But he'll take it
but
back.
Maybe like he's playing her too.
Yeah.
You never know, right?
She's like the Kellyanne Conway of like the situation, like the reporter, the one who's like telling on the news and stuff.
Yeah. Because he knows she's a strong person. The only way he knows that she can be controlled is like if she knows if she's in power.
Yeah. Wow, you're so smart. That sounded really, that's a really good point. I think that's the episode, y'all.
It was really good. Definitely.
I thought it was good.
It was good. I'm liking this season. I like it.
And throwing it all the way back to what we said in the beginning of the episode, y'all.
It's a recap, rewind, giveaway.
Giveaway, Halloween giveaway. Because I'm really excited about AHS always turns the F up for Halloween.
And I can't wait for their Halloween episode. I'm so
excited for their Halloween episode. But yeah, speaking of Halloween, because of that, and because we love Halloween, we are doing a special fancy pantsy recap rewind giveaway. We are here and we're gonna give you a little prize. We can't call it what it really is because I think it's
it's a pop socket.
It's a pop socket,
but it's customized.
We're doing it customized. We're gonna have a little bit of recap spooky rewind on it,
a cool AHS cult design on it. We'll show you guys the design, and we'll show you guys what the prize will be on our YouTube page and our Twitter. Right. So make sure you follow us at recap_rewind for all the information on the giveaway. But also, guys, to enter our giveaway, our Halloween giveaway.
So this is what you have to do to enter. First and
foremost,
contest rules. First and foremost, you got to go to our YouTube channel and you got to subscribe. You also got to go to our Twitter at recap_rewind. And follow us.
But guys, when you're watching this video on YouTube,
this one,
make sure to like it. And then there's also a question that you gotta answer.
Yeah.
So under the video on YouTube for this episode.
Yeah. So episode 5.
Episode 5 called Holes. We want you guys to comment on our question right now. And the question is, what do you think will be the theme for next season of AHS? The best answer we will choose, and we will announce it on October 24th.
Or that week episode. Yeah. That week's episode.
So we'll announce the winners on the 24th, and you guys will have your cool Halloween themed recap rewind pop socket by the 31st.
Let your friends know.
Let your friends know.
Yeah.
Follow us on Twitter at recap_rewind. Subscribe to us on YouTube and like this video, episode 5 Holes, and comment what is the theme for next season AHS.
That's your ticket,
That's
guys.
how you enter.
That's your ticket.
Okay.
All right.
That's it for us.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.